Before we jump into the demo, I just want to go through a couple things as context for your Realm demo. First of all, there's a separate document that are Realm instructions, and that's to be used for your reference. They're located on our website, and it is by function. It gives you step-by-step instructions as well as screen captures. Anything in the material that says NA, it means that the functions are either not enabled, and they will be in the future, or you may not have the security to perform that particular function. Don't worry a lot about the data in the dashboards and the reports. It's been capturing the data for, the past 6 or 7 years, and a lot of it's obsolete. As we get going with Realm, we'll start cleaning up the data so the reports make more sense. In this demo, the events that we are covering is ministry events and meetings. We are not covering any parish-related events. That'll be for future training. Any attendance related to liturgical ministries and a couple other ministries will be done in MSP. This is our scheduling software. We will turn on the check-in capabilities in MSP shortly. For today's demo, we're not going to go through all of the instructions. Again, you have the instruction guide, and you will see that the demo individual is Ryan Chester as a ministry lead for something called the Test Ministry. And just a little feedback, the parish nursing ministry has been using Realm since April. And when we asked Pat Renzel, the ministry leader of the nursing ministry, why she liked Realm, she responded that she liked having all of her documents in one place, agendas, minutes, and other documents, as well as being able to track volunteer attendance and overall number of people being served. Thanks, Pat, for your feedback. So this is just to show you what type of thing is in your instruction guide. It has some expectations at the beginning, and then it has Realm instructions for all the various elements of Realm, including a Realm app. Also, finally, at the end of the reference guide is information about how to get support on our website. Anything that's in green is what we'll cover today in detail in the demo. So the first thing you need to do is you need to set up a Realm account. All ministry leaders should have received an invitation to set up a Realm account. You need to click on that link. If you haven't already, you're going to need to click on that link to create an account in a browser. Do not use an app at this point. You need to create your account first. Once you've created your account, you can log in. And you can log in at that point. You can log in through a browser, or you can download the app and log in that way. I personally find it easier to do a lot of the communication stuff on the app side and check-ins, and then my ministry management stuff on the browser side. For ministry leads, you will have access to 2 hubs within Realm. One is called Realm, the other one's called Connect. Most of the other parishioners, as well as your ministry members, will only have access to Connect. Connect is your communication hub, and Realm is your ministry management hub. So now we're going to log in. Sign in. And again, I'm signing in for this ministry as Ryan Chester. Okay, so let's just talk about the landing page. This is the default landing page when you sign into Realm. And as you can see over here, if you have multiple IDs, that's how you could distinguish who you are. But this is logged in as Ryan Chester. On the right-hand panel where I'm hovering right now, these are just some main things about your account and your profile. So you can go to the My Account and you can set things like you could put a picture there, you could put a signature line and some other things. The privacy is where you would set the information that people can see about you. So you might want to take a look at that and make anything private you don't wish for others to see. For notifications, you can set notifications of what and how you will be notified. So every time there's an event change in Realm, I want to be notified. And I want to be notified by email, or I want to be notified by Realm notifications, whatever that looks like. So this is really your account and profile information. On the left-hand side is the various functions within Realm or Connect, depending on which hub you're working in. And then whatever you click on, the middle panel will change to represent that particular item. So since we're clicked on tasks, you see the tasks in the middle panel. So we're going to start with Connect. Remember, I said you had two realms. We're going to two hubs in Realm. We're going to start with Connect, which is your communication hub. The first thing you're going to see is news, and this is anything in your news feed. So, for example, if so here's all the events that were shared to my news feed for the test ministry. So I can see all of the events or any other ministry that I'm a member of. I happen to be the leader of the test ministry, but here's a different group that I'm a member of, and it's also listed in my feed. And your feed represents pretty much things that are in the past. It represents a couple upcoming meetings, but you'll see those in another place. But this typically represents what was in the past. If you notice on this one, when somebody sets a meeting invitation, they can make it so that you can comment on that meeting. So if I go and look at this meeting, this was a little test to show simple RSVP. So you could say, yes, I'm going, no, I'm not, as well as any comments in the discussion panel, any comments that were made about the meeting. Again, as the ministry lead, when you set up the event, that's when you indicate whether you want to be able to make comments or not, and whether you want to be able to RSVP. And if you notice over here, for this particular event, 3 people were notified of that event. And again, that's when you set up the event. You tell it how you want to do that. So still in news, I just wanted to highlight the fact that these are not enabled at this point. These are different ways of posting. You can start a post, which is similar to a chat, but it's the post, and you can post a picture. None of those functions are enabled at this point. If we enable them for one ministry lead, we have to do it for all. So until we get a little practiced at this, we're going to keep that function turned off, and then we'll turn it on at a later date. But you still have various ways to communicate with your ministry without the posting function enabled. You can comment, like we just talked about, and there are 2 other ways that I'm going to show you now. So if you go to your communication function, I'm going to start with chat. And it works like pretty much any other chat that you might be used to using. So I can chat with an individual as long as I can chat with anybody that has a Realm account. So Deborah Jean is outside this test ministry group, so I can chat with her, or I can chat within the ministry group that's within the test ministry group. In addition to chat, you can send emails. You can compose a message. Again, it works like pretty much any other email system. You can compose a message. It is defaulted to go to your entire ministry, but if you want to select specific people, you just click on that and you can unselect people. In this particular messaging element, you are only communicating within your ministry. Later, I'm going to show you broader communications that you can communicate. You can add people outside of your ministry, but here, you can only do it within your ministry. I recommend you use it on the Realm side because then you have a lot more flexibility. So we're not going to go into how to do this today because we're going to use the Realm functionality of how to send an email. Then lastly, on the Realm side, I want to touch on two other elements on the Realm side. On the events, it lists the 5 most upcoming events. It tells you what events you've RSVP'd for, or you can list all of the events. And these are all events that have been scheduled for any ministry that you participate in. So if you notice, I'm test ministry, the software communication group ministry, etc. The next thing I want to touch on briefly is groups. And again, we'll spend more time on this when we get to the Realm side, but this just lists the groups that I am a member of or that I am a leader of. And that's pretty much an overview of what you will use on the Connect side. Again, there's more details in your guide, and there's also more, some of them are pretty self-explanatory, so you can just explore, or there's more information in the Realm help, which we'll touch on later. So now I'm moving from Connect into Realm, the Realm Hub. And we're going to spend most of our time in the group function. We'll spend a little time on a couple others, but mostly in the group function because that's where you will do most of your work. So if you click on groups, then you click on all groups. It will list all of the groups or ministries that we have for St. Luke. I'm going to click on the test ministry because that's the ministry we want to work on today. So this is pretty much your landing page for your ministry. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look at the information about your ministry. So this is something that you want to look at, update. We'll go in a second and do that. And it should only be done one time. You might have to update it periodically, but this is something that you will not do on a regular basis. So if I edit my group information, I can add a picture. I meant to show you that earlier. I can add a picture. The name, please don't change the name. If you don't like the name of the ministry, please let Maria Stupiello know, let me know. We have the ministries referenced in several places, including the website. So if we start changing names, we need to keep the other places in sync. The ministry area is going to be member ministries. These most of the people in here are ministry heads for the member ministries, not the religious ed ministries. The description, check out the description. If you don't have one, you can copy it from the website. There's a description there for every ministry, so you could copy it from there. If there's one there and you don't like it, please, again, let the office know so that we can update the website to be in sync with however you change it. This group type will be used in the future. Right now, there's only a few of them. They don't necessarily match all ministries. So pick something that's as close to what you think your ministry type is. And then later on, we'll update those. It's really just for grouping and reporting purposes. While you're here, you can add another leader. So if you're the leader and you need to add a co-leader, you can do it from here. I'll show you another place that you can do it when you're looking at your roster. From a visibility perspective and availability, I would keep it at the default, which should be public, and it should be always available in group page. We won't typically have anything about recess periods, nothing about the social media. Most ministries will have both male and female participants, but if you happen to be a ministry that has only males or only females, feel free to use that. We're not usually restricted by age range, etc. The other key things that I would do is I usually include my attendance data for the participants on my dashboard, just so I could see who is participating. And then if for some reason I I didn't notice that somebody was gone 3 times, I like for it to notify me that somebody has not participated 3 times in a row. And this just helps me figure out if I check in, see if everything's okay. I absolutely do not want to see the ages of my participants, so I recommend that you turn this off. And then on the participants tab, I also indicate a few other things like when they joined the group and when they last logged in. So once you've updated all those, click on save to save your information. And here's where you would add the image if you have a group image. The next thing we're going to cover is your roster. So roster is the participants tab. So click on the participants tab. And here you see in this particular, the test ministry, we only have 4 people that are participants. If you notice, leader is indicated for the person that is a leader. If you wish to make a current participant a co-lead or a leader, you can click on here. You can say edit, and then you can change to leader. And then hit save. Also in participants, you can add participants. You just say add person, and you can type in 1 or more names. So if you have to add several of them, you type, select the right one, type, select the right one, and then add them all. You can remove individuals. You click on the individual you need to remove. Remove from group. If you notice, you can also move them to another group. So if there happens to be a ministry that we want to split up, say it's gotten too large and we want to split them up, we could move, half of those individuals to the new ministry once we got the new ministry set up. If you are removing somebody from the group, it'll ask you if you want to. We're not going to do it today, but it's in your instructions. It'll ask you if you want to save that person's information. And I would say, yes, save the historical information. Here's a good place to show you the Realm help. It's really this little button up here. That's a question mark. And it basically, again, shows you step-by-step instructions for the things that I'm demoing for you today. So this is a good resource. So you would go here, you might click on a particular topic, and then when you're done looking at the help, you would X out of it. Next, we're going to look at the invites tab. When you go to this tab, it should be blank. There shouldn't be a list there when you initially go into it. When you are ready to roll out Realm to your ministry, we'll show you later that basically you need to schedule time with Maria. You need to let her know. We need to schedule some time so that we're able to support you. And then we would end up sending, once you sent a message notifying your group that you're inviting them to Realm, the office would send the Realm invitations. So once they do that, then your list of participants would stay on here until they've created their Realm account. So say you had 10 people in your ministry, we sent it out to 10 people. So 10 people would show up here. Once they have set up their Realm account, it would go down, 987. So this just shows you the people that have been invited to create a Realm account. Next, we're going to look at resources, and this is where you would put all of your documentation. If you notice, you can add both documents and you can add links. So if we go in here, we would say what our file is or what link, and you would indicate the name. Then you would choose, if it's a file, then you would choose either from your desktop or the cloud. Just choose where you would get your file from. And then you would put a note in here, and I would try to make it as, as descriptive as possible so that your ministry members know what this document is for. Again, you could do a link if you wanted to. Then you would save it. For this particular feature, most of the time it does not notify the team members that something has been uploaded. So I typically send an email afterwards saying I uploaded such and such a file. We're going to show you sending emails in a little bit. And that's pretty much it for resources. Now we're going to go to events. The default when you come to events is going to be upcoming events. If you toggle to past events, this is what you would do if you were going to mark attendance. We're going to show you that in a minute. I want to start with upcoming events and add event. So I'm adding an event and I'm going to call it a group meeting. I'm going to type in test event and then a longer description. Please join us for our test event. Start time and an end time. Let's make it for Friday at 9:30. And it defaults to be an hour long. You can change that to be as long as you want. Repeats once if it's just going to occur one time. If you're going to have recurring meetings, you can say weekly, you can say every 2 weeks, once a month, however frequently you have them. Next, indicate if the meeting is in person, virtual, or in person and virtual. In this particular case, I'm going to select both so you can see how that works. The physical location, I'm going to say it's at church and it's in the Jack Center. I'm going to use my normal realm or my normal Zoom information. You may have to cut and paste that from Zoom or whatever your remote meeting is. I'm also going to select minor sign up, simple RSVP. It's just nice to know if people are coming or not. And lastly, I enable mobile check-in and contactless check-in. This allows people to check in from their app. And the more people that check in from their app, the less I have to do from a ministry lead perspective of marking attendance. So now I'm saving my event. And I always want to say, yes, share it. Yes, I want to share this event with the 4 participants in my ministry. I want to allow them to comment. You could turn that off if you don't wish to have comments. And I want to send a notification so they know that I just add an event. And then I'm going to save. Now everybody should get a notification. I just did on my app on my phone. And it should be added to our news feed. So if we go back over to Connect and look at the news feed, it's been added there. So now I'm going back to Realm. I'm going to groups, all groups, and back to my test ministry. And then I'm going to mark attendance. So, whoops, I clicked on the wrong thing. Sorry about that. Events. I don't want to add an event. I want to change to past events. So if you noticed, I can say, we can remove it from the newsfeed if we wish. We can say we did not meet. So if you have a recurring meeting set up and for some reason you cancel that for that week or that month, please put that you did not meet because it will automatically calculate statistics for you. So it'll skew the statistics thinking that nobody participated that day when in reality you didn't have the meeting. So make sure that you do that. And then marking, there's 2 types of attendance. You can mark the overall attendance and the volunteer attendance. So the overall attendance are those people that are impacted or that you serve in a particular ministry. So I'm going to come here and you would do that first. So let's just say for this ad hoc meeting, we had 10 people. 10 people that we served in this particular group. And then I would say mark attendance. And then I would say what volunteers participated in this event. And let's say one participated virtually and one, we'll just say they both did it in person. It's taking a little while for this to process. Okay, so then that ended up being 12. So it's the 10 people we serve, the 2 volunteers that serve those 10 people, and you have the total numbers. Not all ministries necessarily serve a group. So things like parish nursing, things like friendship lunches, community meals, they may have the number of people they served plus the volunteers. Things like finance committee and pastoral council is typically just going to be marking attendance for those that participated. So now we're going to send an email. So again, select specific people. If you click on this, you can select everybody in your group or particular or your ministry or particular individuals within your ministry. Oops. I'm going to select all just to keep them all selected. If you wish to copy somebody outside of your group, then you use the BCC function. And again, you can only select individuals that have Realm accounts. So I'm going to select Deborah Jean. Go. My subject is a test message. Let me put demo message so I can distinguish them between the other messages. Demo message. If you happen to have set up a signature line over in your settings when we were talking about that when we first came into Realm, it'll automatically appear here. If you haven't, then you would want to type in some kind of signature line at the end. You can add a file or you don't need to send a file. One of the features that I really like is there's no way to create a draft email message and then come back in and edit it. So what I do is I will create my message and I will say, I will pick a date and time in the future, say a week out. That gives me time to create my draft message, let it sit for a while, go get whatever documents I might have to attach to it, and then come back and update it and go ahead and send it. Or if you don't need to send something out for a week, you can just put your message in here and then pick a date and time of when you want that to be sent out. And I'll show you in a second how to get to those scheduled messages. I already have several sitting out there, so I'm going to cancel that. So that's how I send a message. Now we're going to go find those scheduled messages. So if I click on, if I go back to the main menu for Realm and I click on communication and my communications, here's my sent emails, and then here's my scheduled emails. And then I could go in and edit it that way. And then I can either schedule it again for the future or I can go ahead and send it. And the other thing I want to show real quick is it's in groups, calendars. Most of the other things that we've shown you is specific to that particular ministry or group. Since I haven't selected a ministry or group, this gives me the meetings for all ministries, all groups by a particular day. So that's kind of nice. So that you have one place that you can see all these things, all the events for your ministry, and then you have another place where you can see all events for the parish. So that's really what I wanted to touch on for the Realm the Realm Hub. So we've looked at Connect, the communication side. We've looked at how to manage our ministries. You have the instruction booklet, which is on the Realm instructions, which is on the website. You also have a Realm ministry checklist, which helps you walk through what are the things that you have to do as a one-time setup for your group or ministry, and what are the things that you need to do that you need to do regularly. And it has a section on how to roll out Realm to your particular ministry. which you would need to schedule time with the office in order to do that. So that concludes our demo. Thank you very much.